And I just have a soft spot for enemies to lovers, and they low-key were giving that, and that's like one of my favorite tropes. But I think in the end, I'm gonna stay loyal to our main guy. So it has actually been quite some time since I've actually sat down and filmed a video. There was my first Frost video, but that was actually filmed such a long time ago. But yeah, I've said before, my life has been a little bit hectic, but starting with this, I hope to go back to the weekly posting, like, please. Last month was the toughest one because I think I actually skipped two videos that last month, but there's a lot I have planned. I just need to film it and post it, so I'm actually behind schedule already. But this is actually going to be a short video for once. And I know previously when I make these monthly update videos and I say it's going to be a short video, it isn't. This one actually is, because there's only like 10 dramas I'm watching total, and low-key I do not remember the last time I've watched so few airing dramas. Like literally I started reading because there were so few airing dramas, so that's like, I don't remember the last time I read a book because I've just been so preoccupied with dramas. I used to be a huge reader until the dramas came around, and that's like all I dedicate my time to. I'm really not lying when I think today's video is going to be a short one, and low-key, it's not a very good one, as you can tell from the thumbnail, but I just think April dramas have just been so lackluster, and I've just been really disappointed by everything that's come out so far. So yeah, this is not going to be a very happy video. It's going to be pretty critical about like every single thing I've been watching. So if you just want to relate to our negative thoughts about the dramas, this is probably a good video for you. I just needed somewhere to rant, and this is my monthly space to rant about dramas. So first up, we are going to go on to K-dramas that I'm currently watching. So first up is going to be Resident Playbook, which I have now, at this moment of filming, have completed 7 of the 12 episodes it's going to be out, and I currently have this rated at an 8 out of 10. And so this one is very, very disappointing because I loved the Hospital Playlist series. So obviously when Resident Playbook came around, I was really excited. I didn't know that the writer and director are actually different. So it isn't Shin Won-ho and Lee Woo-jung that directed and wrote it, but I do know that the people working on Resident Playbook worked on Hospital Playlist with them. So I was like, okay, it's going to be a little different, but it's going to keep the overall tone. And it does not keep the overall tone of Hospital Playlist whatsoever. Hospital Playlist is a very lighthearted slice of life, like happy, jolly watch. There's really no villain, there's really no obstacle, and it's just like watching good people, go to their day-to-day life, and you just love every single character on screen, basically. But in Resident Playbook, all the main characters are pretty unlikable. I mean, our female lead is probably the most likable of them all, but even then, she has her moments that's a little bit like flawed, but she's definitely the most tolerable because you can tell that she's going to grow as a character. And I think her flaws aren't something that annoy me as much. To talk about today's episode, Pyo Nam-kyung is just so childish. She has this whole relationship drama, and it's just one of those characters that I'm just kind of like sick of. And it's like, why does it take you this long and this many years to kind of figure out that what you're doing is like toxic and wrong, I just think that the immaturity at this age that she's at as an adult is just kind of ridiculous. Same thing for Sabi. I think she's so old to not understand like emotions, and I just think they just all have no excuses for acting the way they are, given that they're actually all adults. Same thing with Jae. He's just really immature. And so yeah, I watched Resident Playbook thinking like, dang, this kind of is such a shame because it could just be so much better. It's not a bad drama. I think if it weren't related to the Hospital Playlist series, I could like it, but it's just like there's no way to not compare them with the Hospital Playlist cast, especially when the Hospital Playlist cast makes cameos and you literally see them and you think, oh my god, I remember how much I love these characters. And in comparison, our Resident Playbook cast is like not that endearing. I have started to get more invested though because of our love line. Today's episode was really, really good because we introduced the second male lead. But to be honest, yeah, he's probably the second male lead. But either way, it's really exciting for me right now. I think the romance is starting to develop really cutely. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of do like her with the other guy because he's kind of cute and I kind of like their dynamic. And I just have a soft spot for enemies to lovers, and they low-key were giving that, and that's like one of my favorite tropes. But I think in the end, I'm going to stay loyal to our main guy. He's such a good boy, such a soft sweetheart, and I adore him. He's just got this little like, I don't know, puppy dog smile, So yeah, it's definitely getting better, but low-key we're at the end half because I think it's only supposed to have 12 episodes and we're literally on episode 7. So yeah, it's definitely disappointing considering the original content, but it isn't as bad as I'm saying. It is like one of the very few K-dramas I'm watching on air, so that has to go for something. And yeah, I'm hoping that the end half picks up a little bit more, and I can definitely see the season 2 happening, so just hopefully season 2 does a better job. And I just wish the main cast was more likable. It's not even the actors, it's just the cast. The characters they wrote are just so unlikable and annoying, and it's just like, this is not what I was watching the show for. But other than that, it's like solid, it's okay. There's no really life messages in my opinion though, that I feel like Hospital Playlist did a really good job with. So, it's like a downgrade of Hospital Playlist, but it's like not the worst piece of work I've seen ever. Okay, and then real quick, I'm just going to talk about dramas that I'm not sure I'm going to continue. So I did start the Potato Lab because I saw really good reviews on it in my March update video. And so the first episode is actually not that bad. It was a little bit more serious than I thought, and I think I would like this drama if it doesn't take itself too seriously. The only thing is, I'm just not invested enough to like want to continue it right now. I finished 1 episode. I have this rated at a 6.5. I'm just not sure it's worth my time. I think Baeksang awards are coming out soon, so I was finally going to actually catch up to like Light Shop and Jeongnyeon The Star is Born, and I just think all of those are just way more worth my time than watching this at the moment. So yeah, I'm really not sure I'm going to continue this after all. And then another one that I started, and I'm actually more sure I'm not going to actually watch this one, is Divorce Insurance. I started it the day it aired, so I watched episode 1, and honestly, I just did not like the tone. It's a really over-dramatic, over-the-top kind of comedy that I really don't like about dramas. The chemistry so far was not giving, and the characters that they developed, I'm just not very interested in them right now. It just feels a little too immature for my personal taste. Yeah, so I have this rated at a 6, and I'm pretty sure I'm just not going to continue this. I do not see anyone talking about it, which is kind of a shame because I do enjoy the cast, but yeah, it's just not really worth my time, and I'm just going to skip out on this one. If you are watching it, let me know your thoughts and how it's going, but so far I've heard nothing about it, which kind of is a sign that's like, it's not doing too well. And on to dramas that I completed. This one is actually going to come out very left field because I have told people several times that I will not be watching Weak Hero Class because it is not my genre. I did get recommendations to watch Weak Hero Class when I reviewed Study Group, and I said that I liked Study Group. I would say this is maybe slightly better than Study Group, but also like not in some ways. So I actually watched season 1, and season 1 I actually rated a 7 out of 10. I actually was disappointed. I don't even know if disappointed is the right word, but you know, sometimes there are dramas that I know that I don't like that I can really see why other people like. I would say with Weak Hero Class 1, I did actually not understand the like hype around it. Like it wasn't even, I feel like for me, a personal taste difference. I was just confused why people like really enjoyed it. Like I didn't feel like it was just something like, oh, I personally just didn't like the way the plot went, but I was just like, oh, like, is this really it? Because like I feel like I've watched similar dramas in this genre that I've just done it better. For me, I personally, this is really hot take though, I did not really love the characters in season 1. Jihoon, what's his name? Shion, I think his name is Shion. Jihoon's character's name is Shion. And Shion, I would have thought in the first season that he was kind of unlikable until like episode 4 when you actually see him smile. And then I get the whole development of like this very kind of depressed kid finding happiness in his life for like once. And then just like the forced laughter. I mean, that moment was like absolutely beautiful. From then on out, I think the drama got better. But the fact that it took 4 episodes out of like an 8-episode drama for me to like, oh, this might actually be good is kind of crazy. For me, I think the whole setup is the issue why I couldn't get into it. It's like about these high schoolers being in like a gang basically, and it's like, where are all the adults? And it's also just like, I'm not a very big action person, and there is like so many action scenes, and I'm just like skipping through it like, what is the point? Like, why do people just beat each other up left and right like every other episode, and like there's no consequences? I just couldn't get invested in it given that the high school was the like background. If it had been like, I don't know, adults, maybe I would have gotten more into it. And then I'll say that I feel like the friendship falling apart in season 1, I was just kind of confused why it actually did. I wasn't really sure. Like, I understand the idea of the characterization, but it just felt a little bit illogical to me. Personally, you know, that's just like my personal take. And so their friendship like wasn't super cute to me. I know everybody likes Choi Hyun-wook's character. Not that I remember his name right now, but I just felt like he was too perfect, you know? Like he was just like this great friend, he was this great fighter, like I don't know, like why was he so perfect? And this is so funny because I'm talking about how flawed Resident Playbook characters are, but this one he just felt so flawless, and I was just like, how are you just like this perfect dude, you know? So for me, yeah, I didn't really love season 1, and the only reason I started a Weak Hero Class season 2 was for Jeongnyeon. And I just saw him and Jihoon promoting, and Jeongnyeon is just, I'm in love with him, you know. He did a Mellow movie earlier in the year, and he did When Life Gives You Tangerine. So I'm just a huge Jeongnyeon fan right now, and I'm not gonna lie, he looks really good in the Weak Hero Class season 2, and that is the only reason I watched season 1 and ended up finishing season 2. I was originally going to make a review video about the entire Weak Hero Class thing, but I feel like it's a little bit too late, you know. I'm not trying to like keep posting videos way after they're overdue, like what happened with my first Frost review, which is now way overdue. So yeah, I'm not going to do a Weak Hero Class review, so this is just everything that I'm going to be saying about it. And basically, I ended up rating Weak Hero Class 2 an 8 because I actually enjoyed the friendships in this one a lot more. I liked the characters, and they were like quirky, you know? And I think that was a little bit more fun of a dynamic than just like the past one. There's like some fun in this drama, if I'm being honest. And I think especially now that we've developed more of Xian's character, in season 2, it makes more sense the way he kind of like grows and changes. And I think that background really helps to like set up for like the actual change that is happening in season 2, whereas in season 1 it felt like nothing was really happening. And so yeah, I think Baku was really funny and cute, and I understand that people are just kind of like, it does feel a little bit like season 1 just 2.0, but personally I just felt like there were more like touching moments between the friendships and just the relationships in general, which is kind of like what I care the most about, like characters and relationships. So I felt like there was a little bit more development and just growth in that area, whereas in season 1 I feel like I just didn't see that as much because I guess it was all like a setup for the season 2. And yeah, it is basically a copy and paste in season 1. So if you do like season 1, season 2 is just kind of like, oh, why are you doing this again? But personally, I thought the season 2 was the upgraded version, which is probably a really hot take, given that it's the newer one, and usually the originals are better than the sequels. But this is actually, I think, where the content in the story actually starts. It's like based off a manga, if I'm correct. And so this is like the real story. But yeah, I just personally enjoyed the characters in this a lot more. Yeah, I thought there was a little bit more background, more character development, character growth, and that's like what I'm here for. Again, it's like not crazy high because the whole synopsis and setup is just something I could not get past. Once in a while, I'll watch something outside of my genre and like it, but this just didn't work for me. 8 isn't bad though. It's like a pretty good drama, and for what it is, I feel like 8 is definitely on the higher side of things. It really could have been like a 6 out of because the personal enjoyment wasn't as high. But yeah, there were some good moments here and there, and I don't regret watching season 2. I would say season 1 was a little bit of like a waste of time in my opinion, but yeah, you know, now we know what Weak Hero Class is all about because people really love it. So, solid. Okay, and now on to C-dramas that I'm currently watching. The main one is going to be Eat, Run, Love, and I am currently on episode 15 out of the 28, and I currently have this rated at a 7.5, and this is actually done airing, but I just haven't gotten around to finishing it because it has started to get boring for me. Originally, I actually thought this drama was really good, and I was surprised that more people weren't talking about it, and more people just didn't seem to like it as much. I think their relationship is really cute. They're very honest and communicative about their problems, and I think the story starts out that you know they're going to break up and get back together, but I'm surprised they actually still haven't broken up, and it's like episode 15, and at this point I just don't see how they would break up because they have such a healthy relationship, and that's like the main appeal for me is like the fact that they're very straightforward and honest about their feelings. That's very rare to see in a drama in general, so I was really appreciating that. I will say that their chemistry is not off the charts, and I feel like that's usually a big part when I watch a modern drama is like you love their chemistry. I mean, Arthur Chen, like low-key, I still can't get rid of the image of him as Ishun in Lighter and Princess. I just think it's his most iconic work, and I really honestly can't see him as anyone else. And she was also in that drama with the guy from When I Fly Towards You. Not that I remember what that drama was called. You're the Best. It's like You Are My Everything, something like that. But either way, I didn't finish that drama either because it was just kind of slow and boring to me. The running concept is actually surprisingly less than I thought it'd be. It is a little bit weird. It's not like the most interesting focus of a drama and like the backdrop of it. I do think there are some good messages here and there though, especially with her balancing like money and the work life, and I love a lot of the dialogue she has to say as a character. I think they're both good characters, interesting enough, but the story is starting to fall off a little bit. I don't know, a little bit bored. There's like nothing everything going on and it feels very inconsequential to me. I would love if it all felt a little bit like part of a bigger picture. Maybe if there's a little bit more angst, it's just kind of like, it's like not the worst, not the best. And I think this drama really should have been compressed. I think we've spent a lot of episodes like just developing something and like nothing is really happening. So that is a little bit of a shame. I feel like I will continue to watch this and finish it because it's really not that bad of a drama, but I do think it's starting to go downhill from here. So we shall see how it goes. But I'm really curious about what happens post-breakup because I love a good breakup and get back together trope, but they haven't broken up yet and we're on episode 15. So we're like more than halfway done. When are we going to see them as adults and get back together? I thought that should have been like the main plot, but it is not. So it is what it is. And I guess real quick, I can add that I'm still watching The Glory, but the thing is, I have no updates on this. I think I'm at the exact same place where I was last month. I'm on episode 23 of 30, and I still have this rated at a 7.5. I will finish this drama. I think there's only 7 episodes left. That can't be that hard to get through. But yeah, I still have the same thoughts. It was like increasing interest and then all of a sudden everything bad is happening and I'm just kind of like, how are you going to make up for this and end the story? So I will finish it because I am already so deep into it, but I do not think I'm going to like it any more than a 7.5, and it could even go down to a 7 if it really isn't that good. It was a shame because it started off kind of strong. It broke me out of my little like drama slump, but now it's like like literally none of these dramas that I'm currently watching are actually like interesting to me at the moment. It's like just watching to watch, and if I had good dramas to watch, I would not be watching most of these, I would say. So yes. And lastly, we are actually on our BL category, and I'm only watching one on air right now, and that's going to be Top Form. And this is actually the drama that I'm looking forward to the most, simply because of the chemistry alone. And I mean, their characters are also really interesting. So yes, I am watching Top Form. I'm on episode 9 out of the 11 that are going to air. I have this currently rated at an 8 out of 10, which is funny considering these are all like the same ratings across the board. All the ratings are the same, but personal enjoyment of this one is so much higher. But the reason I can't give it a higher rating is simply because I feel like the story just isn't the greatest. I think there's bits and pieces that just like don't really make sense to me, and I find myself skipping because it's just kind of silly and stupid and I can't get immersed in it. The chemistry is literally what is carrying this drama alone, like low-key chemistry. If I just considered that and I just didn't think like a logical human being, I would rate this drama like a 9, which is kind of what I did for First Frost, but you know, the enjoyment on that one was too high to not send it to a 9. But this one, I think the way their romance develops is not strong enough for me, because otherwise, if I were to ignore the development of their romance, who they are as characters, like, and their chemistry, I think is good enough to make this a 9. But for me, I think the development is really important. Like, it just went from 0 to 100 real quick. Like, June is like so obsessed with Akin, which is fine, but I just want like a little bit more like, how did we get here, you know? So it just felt very, very rushed in my opinion. And there's just some episodes where it's just like, not really fun to watch. And for me, a lot of the times the plotline feels, again, very inconsequential. Like, I kind of want a little bit of a message when like things happen to them in life and like how they overcome it. I will say there's a lot of really, really great character development, so I have absolutely no complaints about in terms of the character development part. It's just the events that lead to the character development, if you kind of get what I'm saying. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm just like, I can't rate this really any higher than an 8. I mean, maybe I should send this to an 8.5 because it really is the only thing that is like bringing me some joy. But the thing is, if I'm skipping through scenes, I feel like that's just not a good sign. I feel like an 8 is like a solid drama, and 8.5 is really when I'm just like, oh, this is actually good. But right now, I really just don't think I can in good, honest nature rate it above an 8. So that's why it is an 8 right now. Okay, and lastly, the drama I completed in April, really, really early April though, is Perfect 10-Liners. And I actually ended up binging this all right before the last episode aired. And honestly, this was just such a feel-good drama. I ended up rating this an 8 out of 10, which does sound low, but that's actually really impressive considering I didn't like an entire 1/3 part of the drama. I'm sorry, I just wasn't a big fan of Beagle, who is, I think they're Yoda and Gun. Yoda, yeah, I'm pretty sure that those are their names. It's just the second couple, because there's 3 couples that this is about. The second couple just did not appeal to me at all. I thought they were really boring, did not care for them. Yeah, if the drama was just the first couple and the third couple, I would have been a lot fine and better with this drama. But it unfortunately, we did have the second couple. I kind of skipped through them a lot, and it's like just no real offense to them. It's just something that just didn't. I personally wasn't very into. The first couple, my favorite. The third couple actually ended up being really, really cute, really, really honest. I loved their entire dynamic. I loved who they both were individually as characters, and overall, this just left a very happy, lighthearted watch. It was very pleasant to watch, and honestly, the last episode, I feel like it wrapped up everything really well. It made me remember why I loved these characters in the first place, and so for that, that's like pretty amazing that it kind of like ended up as high as it was, considering some flaws that I think would have really brought it down. It was very light, and I think one reason I can't go any higher than an 8 is because if you want to go higher than an 8, it has to be a little bit more consequential. I keep using that word for this video for some reason, but yeah, I feel like it just needed to leave a little bit more messages, and it's a fluffy watch. It's not too deep, but even the fluff wasn't fluffy enough to, send it all the way up to like a 10 or something. Because if you do a fluffy drama right, then I feel like you can be much higher rating. I feel like this is kind of like a fluffy, kind of serious, but it didn't do anything like super either thing super well for me to like really increase the rating of it. But yeah, overall, like good vibes. You got nothing to watch, I would totally recommend. It's a very lighthearted watch, really cute, sweet, Yeah, so this time I actually wasn't lying when I said this video would be a very short one. I just wasn't watching enough dramas for this to end up being a very long video. But there are a couple dramas that I'm thinking about watching. If I'd seen them earlier, I would have included them in the video, but unfortunately I've not. So the ones I'm considering watching are Love Never Fails. This is a Chinese drama. It's got like a 8 on my drama list, which isn't the best, but isn't the worst. But I'm also just like out of dramas to watch, so I think I'm like more desperate. There's also Pump Up the Healthy Love. This has a 7.6, which is also on the low side. But again, remember how I said I was a big fan of Jeongnyeon? I'm a big fan of Jeongnyeon right now, so I just might end up watching it for him. It's got the same premise as Oh My Venus, which I actually kind of enjoyed, so I don't see why I wouldn't. And Eunji is in this, and I'm a huge Eunji fan as well, so I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just watch it for them. And it's 2 episodes in, which means it's like worth a shot, and maybe I'll just watch it on air, so like 2 episodes a week is like pretty chill, especially because I'm not watching anything else. And then lastly, Serendipity, that is a Chinese drama, and I hear that it's Are You the One 2.0, and I actually enjoyed Are You the One, and it's also one of the 2 Chinese dramas that I guess are most talked about right now, so it's like worth a shot, especially because again, I'm watching nothing else. And so with that is everything for my April update. I think this month I'm planning on doing a couple of non-drama related videos. Yeah, I think Making It Diaries Part 3 should come out this month, and a fun little romance related video. So yeah, that's kind of what I have in mind right now, and we shall see you in the next month if you are only here for drama updates, and hopefully May will be a little bit more interesting. Like, I honestly don't think it can get worse than April. Like, this was honestly a really, really bad month for dramas. So hopefully we'll see you in the next one with a much happier drama world and much happier Wendy. So that is that, and I will see you in the next one.